this channel, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to be able to get a shovel big enough to dig myself out.
Most doctors can bury their mistakes, but on the channel like here, it gets there and they can repeat it forever.
That's right.
So commentators, boy, out it goes. And not only that, they keep trotting them out and said, do you remember when you said so? Oh, God, no, please, not again. Here we go then, now then. So, well, you said he would catch him. I thought he wouldn't, but, well, it's closing down all the time. Now, this is going to be interesting because this little lad will have got the information about Buchshofer coming at him. And I think he eased back a bit on the basis it's better to get down in one piece than fall on your ear. But now with 1 kilometre to go, well, he daren't even look round. He's got to concentrate carefully because twists and turns in towards the finish. He's been round the ears. He said, I've got it now.
Oh.
Well, be careful,
with
Daddy.
1 kilometre to go.
Be careful.
Has he got it, or is he talking to his car? I think he's talking to his car.
No.
No.
He thinks he's got it. Well, that's...
No, he's talking to his car. He's calling his car up to ask. He doesn't have a radio.
No.
So he must, in order to get the split, he must have just wanted to make sure how he's doing in the last kilometre. I'm actually surprised his car hesitated as much as they did in getting to him. There must be a commissaire or somebody who's saying, hey, hold off.
Normally they won't let him. See, what often happens is the commissaire will keep their car back, because if he comes up alongside, particularly the last kilometre, if there's a crosswind blowing, they don't want the team cars near riders in the final kilometre. It's really something which they will not normally allow. But the other trouble, of course, looking back, as he did do on a twisting thing, you can't tell how close the other vehicles are behind you. Well, how close the rider is, because he's lost in the vehicles behind you. So I think he had the right to ask for that information. But he didn't worry somewhat, because he's come down that climbing one piece, and despite the fevered chase, he's got it. There you are. This is great to see.
Now
so
he's got
despite
it. Yep.
the sort of day, this is what bike racing is all about. It's a day when the lads who just soldier on, who don't get the spotlight, who don't get the bouquets, don't get the fizzy pop, actually comes over, one gets it. So that's his third victory since he turned a professional, and now he's got it really in, I suppose, one of the greatest theatres as far as an Italian cyclist is concerned, the Tour of Italy. And he's got it in Chieti, where, if you go back over the years, the first ever Tour of Italy actually came here to Chieti in 1909, so it's a town with great reputation for cyclists, and to say, yeah, I won another one, I won in Chieti. Right, who's for the sprint?
Oh, for the sprint, I think it's going to have to be Buchshofer. I think he's the one who's going to go. He's already gone, so it's finished. And the final split was 36 seconds. That's interesting. So they didn't make it to the magical 20 seconds per kilometre.
So there we are, that's second and third then, and they're coming for third and fourth then. Bertolini on the right-hand side, looks like he's going to get that one, as he is. And Grabs then dropping in just behind it. And we haven't heard much about Rollick, who was in that original breakaway group. He was wedged between those riders who just finished and this little lot coming in here. And again, there's not going to be much activity, I think, in the sprint finish. There's one or two chaps chatting amongst themselves here. And I think they're going to say, well, take it easy, lads, when we come in here. They like the fact the pink jerseys come through to the front, and I think they're going to be gentlemanly about this one. And Hepner then will come through, and they respect him in the pink jersey. They respect what he's done so far, and I don't think there'll be much charging around for the run into the points. If this was the sprinters, you've got people like Stratzer and Cipollini and all the other lads in there, they'll be looking for the points in the points competition. But at the moment, it's not that too much of concern to the riders in the main pack. Those will be able to climb the climbs we've had today. So it looks as if they're probably going to just come on in here. In the points competition, Stratzer's leading at the moment, 111 points. Guidi 106 in second spot, Cipollini third. So they're all the sprinters there. Casagrande actually has got 74 points. So whether Casagrande might mosey up to the front and just ride across the line in what's going to be 7th spot or not, I don't know. It's highly probably might just slip in there. But really he's not chasing after that jersey, the Ciclamino jersey. His aim will be to take the pink jersey off Hepner. And that could well happen tomorrow, but I don't know. The way Hepner's going, I think he might be able to keep it tomorrow, because here's Rollick's coming in here, 2 minutes and, 16, 17. These chaps have no way of taking that jersey off Hepner. He'll be in pink again tonight. So Rollick riding for the Gellersteiner team. Coming in here, he got dropped off that original 6-man group. At least he survived in toward the finish then. Number 69, Soissonneuf, or whatever the German equivalent of that is. And so at least his Gellersteiner team will be pleased to get somebody up there today. Quite a little bit of a change we've had. Some of the teams we've not seen much of in the race so far, having their moment of glory under what have been pretty nasty conditions.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to see those same teams more active tomorrow. I think tomorrow's stage allows for a little bit of some new faces, some shiny new faces, we'll say that. But certainly with Rabobank having a full squad, Lampre having a full squad, and a few others as well, they've got some team strength out there who can make the race happen.
Yeah, one thing about the race tomorrow is it's very flat to begin with, and we don't start to do any climbing until after 80 kilometres. Up a little bit of a blip, and it goes further and further up all the way then to the top. And it's the 13th stage of the Tour of Italy, as in comes Rolik. Has been fairly good rider in what I might call the sort of Polish races, the German races, and now coming in here into 6th spot. Just lost the beat a bit. At least he hasn't got caught by the main pack. It won't be long before they come into sight. And a sympathetic round of applause from the spectators here, who also were coming out hoping for a good day, but it didn't turn out that way. Again, diminishing the number of spectators. And Hepner going very close to the front here. Nobody's going to have a challenge to have a go at it. They've got a gentleman agreement, because on the basis that if somebody went and Buster got now to try and fall back 10 seconds, then come another day in summer conditions and they'll try and get it back, and that isn't the way of going about things. So if you're just watching cycling for the first time, do bear with us. It isn't one of those eyeballs out all singing and dancing stages today, but it's been a day full of events, mainly the events we don't like to talk about, but in reality I'm glad to see that at long last 6-minute breakaway have replicated what happened on the day when Hepner got the jersey, because who would have thought on the day when he went into Varese, Hepner went with that group, about 10 men. They went about an awful long way out, and they went so far, and then they didn't get caught, and he got the jersey. That's what cycling's all about. Every so often something pops up and it turns the whole thing upside down. It
all comes down to opportunity, doesn't it, David? I mean, it's seeing the opportunity, reading the race well. There's some guys in the peloton who can really read the race perfectly. They can predict to within minutes of the actual outcome. It's wonderful to when you talk to people like that, who when they look at it, they see something almost tactical in every frame.
Yeah, it's also experience, because Hepner's 37 years of age, and whatever people might say, old cyclists don't die; they just fade away. But
oh, be gentle. 37's not old.
No, it isn't. That's what I say. They're still there, and it's just showing him. And so yes, he's still there. And well, this young lad here, he's got his moment now. That just shows again he's been taught that since
Look at that! Look at that! I love it. He's a sponsor's dream.
He is, isn't he? Yes, I think that's nice to see. Well done, Dennis, for a good ride today, and so only his third success since he turned pro. So that's quite a performance to do it here and at the stage of Chieti. Now going on to tomorrow then, in case we get cut off air a bit quick, because I think we've probably got about 15 minutes to go before we stop the program. Those of you watching our activity live in the afternoon, we've got a whole load of football coming up yet again. Something tells me there must be some competition going out in Korea and Japan, the amount of football. But I think we've got one of these sort of kick-it action from South America. A load of that will be on your screens later on after we finish this race. I think we've got some news programs coming up as well. British Eurosport, they'll be getting Graham Winch reading the news out from there, and James Parrock will be covering it for the international Eurosport, and he'll be with us now for the next 3 days. In fact, James Parrock was a great swimmer, and I was thinking he'd be looking at today's activity thinking, oh well, I should have been a cyclist as well, because he was a jolly good swimmer, and now today it was very much one of those days of swimming against the tide. It was an awful day, it was, and they'll all be glad to get back to their hotel. And the good thing again too tomorrow is that the stage actually starts in Chieti, so it won't be far to the hotels. There's very nice hotels in this part of the world too as well, and down in Pescara there's plenty of accommodation, not far to go, so be soon out of these damp and clothes into something nice, warm and dry. Massage, good food, go to bed, get up tomorrow and face the stage, which finishes right at the top of San Giacomo, and that particular climb, it's a fairly short, sharp one, but they've come over another climb before that, over Ceppo, and the Ceppo is 1,334 metres above sea level. They drop down into the valley, and as soon as they get down the bottom, whoops, up the other side they go as well. So I rather think the purge might start maybe about 110 kilometres out from the start, and those final 80 kilometres tomorrow, 50 miles, could be some cracking racing, and pretty well all of that will be for you on Eurosport.
They kept showing shots of the peloton there, and Lanfranchi has been on the front for most of the second half of this race today. He's just been riding as a bit of a policeman, I would guess, to keep the speed low and to protect Savodelli and make sure that Savodelli stays with those other general classification riders like Casagrande and Evans. But he's also quite a talented tour rider, and I think Index Alexia, apart from losing Quaranta, has quite a strong team here.
Yes, and they've just allowed the field then as we're watching down there, just drifting. A nice little touch there from the coast rider to one of the lads from the telecom team, just patting him on the back and saying, yeah, another day well done. It was to Yakolev. He just put his hand on the back of his shoulder, and I think so, that's it, another one done. And who would have thought of them, because when Hepner got the jersey way back then on stage into Varese, when he got that stage, and then he's kept it through the stage into Della Vassaglia, then into Orvieto, Casata. The way on the results today, you can see that the main pack came in 7 minutes and 47 seconds back. Just